We are live, guys. This is Critic Wrestling. I thought I was gonna get something posted sooner, but I'm in the process of moving right now, so I've been a little busy. But I thought today was a good day to kind of recap on what's been going on. I know it's been a few days since the big news has happened, but there's been a lot to talk about. So I thought today was the day I needed to do a video. So let's get started. Mainly WWE stuff today, but you'll see in the caption what I post for what we're gonna be talking about. I want to start with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, possibly Money in the Bank match for the world title. First of all, do I think this match is gonna happen? Yeah, probably, because they obviously set something up on Monday Night Raw, because Seth Rollins came down and attacked Drew McIntyre during Monday Night Raw. Do I like the decision, or do I agree with this if this happens? Yes, but I don't think this was the right time. There's a pandemic going on. Things are just not where they're normally at. There's a lot of uncertainty going on. So to do Money in the Bank, it's going to be a struggle, and to have such a big match, or a dream match, anticipated match between Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, I just think maybe it could have waited, maybe SummerSlam or right before it, or getting closer to the Rumble this year, depending on if he holds it that long. I just don't think that Money in the Bank was the right time to have these two men fight. Definitely some of the top guys on the Monday Night Raw roster. I just personally don't agree with it just yet, but I do love the match, and I am digging it, and I am glad it's happening. So please let me know, guys. I'm just curious to see what you guys think. Do you think that this could have waited? Do you agree with the match? Do you want to see the match? Are you excited about it? It's a toss-up for me. Like I said, too soon, but I am excited to see it. Now, switching over to AEW. AEW, there's been a lot going on. I was actually really pumped. I seen a phenomenal match between Moxley and Jake Hager. That was a great match, which Moxley pulled up yet another victory to remain undefeated in AEW. AEW's just been putting out great product lately, and I have nothing but good to say about them. I know there's a lot of never switching over to AEW type of guys. There's a lot of, I'm going to be AEW, screw WWE, or screw any promotion, I'm all AEW. It goes hand in hand, but I can honestly say in an unbiased opinion that AEW's been giving it their all. They've been putting out great product, and they've been giving us what we want to see. And the main thing I want to go over today in this video is TNT tournament. They announced that they're having a TNT tournament, and I was really excited to hear about this, especially when we found out who was going to be in it. I'm just going to skip, most of us know exactly who's in the match, so I'm going to skip to my opinion about it and who's going to win. I personally think it's a very hard decision, but I am going to have to say Darby Allin's going to pull up the victory. Shawn Spears is right there with him. I think Shawn Spears had a good chance. Obviously, lost to Cody, but I thought he was right there with Darby. It was a toss-up for me, but I do have Darby winning it. The way he's gotten over with the crowd, he's like another Orange Cassidy, where, he got over with the crowd so good and so fast, and he's really showing his true talents on the AEW roster. So I wouldn't be upset pretty much if anybody on this bracket got the win. But I am going to have to put my money on Darby Allin for this. And I want to switch back over now to WWE. Now, this has been going viral. Everybody's been talking about it. This has been huge news, not only in the wrestling world, but, the WWE universe has just exploded over this news. WWE released over 30 superstars of the course of the last week. This has been just a shocking this week, actually. This has just been really shocking to me, just because some of the guys in here, I couldn't see WWE letting them go. Most of them were being underused or not used at all, so I get it. There wasn't no huge star that's active full time on this. That's got a name for themselves. It's not like no Elias are on it. But Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. Now, they have been getting used. But hear me out. They were one of the top tag teams in New Japan Pro Wrestling. They come to WWE. They get the money. They get the fame. They get the glory. But they don't get the matches, and they don't get the booking creds. They don't get booked the way they should be booked, and that is a fact. These two men, they're getting old, and they're past their prime, but they still have it. They are still great athletes, and I think they've been underbooked by WWE time after time. It's been frustrating. I think, obviously this was WWE's call, but I think for both of them, it was best to part ways. I'm a little shocked, but like I said, it was the best for the company. Heath Slater, loyal, great wrestler. He's known to be one of the weakest guys actually in the locker room, but he has talent. He's done a couple silly, not serious, but like more silly gimmicks to try to get over. He got over maybe a little bit at certain points of his career, but never truly got that fire under him to be a rising star. Heath Slater, where it goes, if you ask me, I say Heath Slater is going to be done. He might do a couple indie scenes. He isn't going to Ring of Honor. He's not going to AEW. He's not going to Impact. He wants his career to be done in WWE, maybe working as a trainer, a backstage producer in the near future. But I don't see him ever competing full-time in another promotion. I think WWE is where he stands, and that's where he'll be. We got guys like EC3, Rowan, Sarah Logan, Mike Kanellis, Zack Ryder. I mean, you hear these names. They were just giving Rowan a huge push. He had a huge storyline a couple months ago. EC3 was one of the top free agents in in the world of wrestling. WWE, huge pickup for him. Absolutely huge. And I was shocked and I was surprised when they picked him up. And to see the poor decisions by booking and story writing they've had for EC3, it's been brutal. It's been really brutal, and I'm upset because I'm not great, and they'll do their job a hell of a lot better than me. Don't get me wrong for WWE story writing, but as far as EC3 goes, I'm smart enough to know where not to book him, and WWE booked him in every spot that they possibly couldn't have to kill his career. His career, every match he was booked in was a career killer. It was basically grabbing a shovel and just digging and digging until he got released. Rowan, like I said, he had a big storyline going that was just upsetting for him to see him go. But I see him being a potential prospect for AEW because Harper and Rowan are very close. They've been tag team champions in NXT. They've had the Bludgeon Brothers. They've had a long history together, and I see them potentially going to AEW together, maybe to be a part of the Dark Order together. I don't know if they'll be a faction or if they're just going to go their own separate ways, but I do think Luke Harper is in contact with Rowan saying, listen, this is the way to go. I'm being booked the way I've always wanted to be booked in WWE. Come here, enjoy it, see what's about, what AEW is about. And I think that's what Rowan and Harper are both discussing right now, if you'd ask me. Zack Ryder, another really loyal wrestling performer. He, unfortunately, again, he was released as well. Great superstar. I think his time's done. I also don't see him going to another promotion. Noe Jose, I may be seeing him in Ring of Honor and Impact, but I don't see him going to AEW. I mean, he's decent. He's not the greatest wrestler. He had a goofy gimmick that worked in NXT just like Tyler Breeze did. The only difference is Tyler Breeze can wrestle. Noe Jose can't wrestle as good. I'm just being honest. And last but not least, before we end this video, the last few guys I want to talk about is Kurt Angle. This one, yeah, like Kurt Angle, the name, huge superstar. Everybody knows him, but I don't think it was a huge releasing. He really was just salary cap, just sitting there, almost like if you watch the NFL, it's basically like a bench production. He's getting paid on the bench. So Kurt Angle, it was his time to go. He lost to Baron Corbin. He had a great career. He came back. So thank you, Kurt. We had many more great memories with you. I was glad to have the opportunity. Maybe in the far future, you could come back and maybe do something again. But as for now, I think this was the right move for WWE and Kurt Angle to say goodbye. Lio Rush, this one I was devastated to hear for WWE because this guy is insane, y'all. This guy is absolutely great. And I think that he is going to make a difference either in Ring of Honor, Impact, or AEW. I don't see him going overseas to New Japan. But this guy has built a name for himself not only before WWE, but while he was in WWE. My bad. So Lio Rush, I think that it's going to be good for his career, but it's upsetting at the same time because WWE had true talent in Lio Rush, and it's upsetting to see him go. Aiden English, basically he was a wrestler. He was really bad at doing the wrestling thing. Switched over to commentary like Corey Graves, and great commentator for 205 Live. I loved hearing him on 205 Live talk, and I thought he killed it. But it's his time to go, unfortunately. WWE thought so. I wonder who's going to be the next commentator for 205 Live, or if they're going to completely scrap 205 Live. That's my prediction, because I'll say it right now. Sorry, guys. I'll say it right now. WWE will be scrapping 205 Live within the next 4 months. That's what I'm going to predict. Last but not least, Rusev. Rusev, the Bulgarian Brute, Rusev Day. He has had crazy good matches. At one point, he was undefeated. That was ended by Cesaro. Great wrestler. Unfortunately, this is the end of Rusev, and it will no longer be Rusev Day. I hope the best for Rusev. Now, the question is, will he go to AEW? There's a chance, and I think there is a definite chance that he could go to AEW. Do I think he's going to AEW, though? I don't think Rusev's going to go to AEW. His style, I just don't see him cutting it. I know Cody doesn't want to necessarily sign someone from WWE just for the name. He's going based strictly off of skill, talent-wise, and I just don't think Rusev will be able to cut the AEW roster. All the respects to Rusev. I'm curious to see what happens with him and Lana. If Lana's going to go with him or if she's going to decide to stay. Either way, that is it, guys. Huge releasings by WWE. This opens up the free agency market to about here for the wrestling world. So these guys are going to go out there. Let's see who goes to Ring of Honor. Let's see who goes to Impact, New Japan, AEW. It's an exciting time for wrestling. It's an unfortunate time for the world. But luckily enough, wrestling's still entertaining us. And that's all I have for you today. This is Critics Wrestling. Peace.